Welcome to Married to the Boss.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hi. We are dressed today because we are going to actually talk about getting physical. Yes, physical when it comes to exercise. That's what we're going to talk about.
I know where you were thinking.
I know, I almost went there. But we're talking about a subject that I am very, very passionate about. And I know that you share that passion because being healthy for your business is so important. And we are dressed the part because we worked out.
Right.
So how convenient, convenient. We just came over here, and just did our show. But today we're going to discuss how food and sleep and exercise affects your business. We're also going to talk about how you should prioritize and why you should prioritize your health in order to maintain the health of your business. And last, we're going to provide some tips for staying healthy while you're doing while you're running your business. So we can dive straight in. I'm going to go ahead and get us started if that's okay. So one of the things that I want to mention that's really important is how food, sleep, and exercise affects your business. One of the things that I benefit from all of the above is that I do end up with more energy, and right after a workout, normally I will be honest with you, I work out first thing in the morning, and it does become a challenge some mornings to get out of bed and actually get out there and do my exercise. And but what I try to do is I try to focus on the benefit after I'm done. I try and focus on how I feel after I'm done exercising, because the type of I try and do portion control. I try and watch what I put into my body and into our bodies. So we try and cut back on sugar and salt. We barely have any of those items in our diet. Thank you. Mm-hmm. But we also try and eat whole foods, mm-hmm. and we try no preservatives, and we try and eat as many vegetables as possible and lots of fruit. But the benefits of making health and exercise a priority in your business is that not only are you going to have more energy, but you're going to be able to think more clearly. It's going to also release stress, and it's going to help you, and because of that you're going to be able to make better decisions, and last but not least, it's going to help boost your immune system. Absolutely. And that's one thing that we've been doing this for many years. Yep. Not only from the time that we first got married, we're mm-hmm. very, very active, athletic. Mm-hmm. You were very athletic.
No, very, very athletic. Yeah.
I remember those days.
Let's try not to reminisce too much.
Oh, I'm talking about basketball. Oh. You're still playing basketball. No, I mean, you're still athletic.
Oh, okay.
But I meant basketball.
I got you.
Okay. Anyway, so yes, it does boost your immune system in more ways than one, and gives you more energy, and that's important. I don't know if you wanted to add to that.
I will add this with a couple of questions.
Okay.
Before I ask those questions, you cannot compromise your health for your business. So your health's got to be priority, mm-hmm. right? So it's just way, way too important. So you need to ask yourself, I think, these three questions. And because we were very active building our companies and still are today, it's essential. So mm-hmm. the first question is you need to ask yourself, do you think you're going to have stress in your startup business? I would have to say,
oh yes,
that would probably be a check mark for yes. Okay, so
yes.
Second question is will you eat unhealthy foods when you're starting your business? And I'm gonna add a tag to that, because you're going to be very, very busy. You are going to be going through more drive-throughs. You don't want to eat lunch. You're just going to, go right through your day and, hit the snack bar. And so think about unhealthy foods.
Guilty as charged.
Me too.
Did all of that.
So, and then the third one is, I think, and it's very realistic, is are you going to work 5 days a week, 6 days a week, or 7 days a week? And if your answer is yes to any one of those three questions, then it is important that you think about your company and your family, because both are going to be affected by how you take care of yourself in a startup business. So from a stress standpoint alone, it's so important that you eat healthy.
Yes, I totally agree. And that healthy eating habit helps give you the energy that you need.
All day long.
Eating healthy, because we've been guilty of eating the junk food, the drive-through, the dry fruit. I'm thinking of fruit, the drive-through foods. And it was actually, there was two reasons for that. Number one, we were limited on time because we were working like dogs, like 16-hour days.
Yep, 7 days a week.
7 days a week. Feeling guilty on Sundays for going right back to work right after church. But we never missed out on the chief. We always put him first. And secondly, it's because you are bootstrapping a startup. I mean, I'm going back to our first startup. Oh my gosh, we bootstrapped everything. We didn't have really much money because you're bootstrapping this software company. It was so tough, and the only thing we could afford, I remember we were saving coupons for Wendy's or whatever, so we were going to Wendy's, and that's how we ate. You know?
We were so strapped, we were riding our bike to work because we couldn't afford to put gas in the vehicle.
But at least we were thinking to ourselves, we're exercising.
Oh no,
so
we were
still
always exercising.
We always put exercising as a priority.
Sometimes our work was 5 miles away. Sometimes we walked to work and back. That's 10 miles in a day, or we rode our bike.
That's how important we put exercise as a priority, because we knew that we needed to do that in order to overcome the stress, in order to stay healthy, and just to have the energy to get through it.
Yeah, we were so tired when we got to work that we couldn't even argue. That was really the good part.
That's a topic of conversation we're going to have in a future podcast, as you know, how to agree to disagree.
Right.
Yeah, but it's hard to disagree.
I know, it's hard to disagree. It's hard to agree. Let's go, come on.
Okay, so the benefit of prioritizing your health for your business, I know we can talk about a long list, but I have a couple of benefits that I just want to share with you. It does affect your mental stability. You are going to be able to remain calm, cool, and collected. And you're going to need that when you are actually bootstrapping or starting up a new company. That also kind of gets us into managing your emotions. I'm really big into having a really good check on your emotions, meaning check your emotions at the door. You know, don't especially in a startup, feelings are not part of the equation, because that's going to get you into muddy waters or into arguments that you don't want to go there. So
useless arguments.
Yeah, useless. Yes, because they will get to that point. It also it's also going to, like we mentioned earlier, it's going to give you the energy to maintain that drive that you need in order to keep pushing, keep propelling forward. And at the end of the day, for me personally, I feel that it does help improve your productivity and the performance. It helps you stay clear-minded.
Absolutely.
And that's so important, especially for any business, you know, not just software, but any business. So those are the benefits.
I will add one more benefit to that, is that your confidence level is going to be completely different when you exercise. Because when you're not exercising, you're thinking, what? You may not be all that positive, and when you exercise, you have a confidence level that it's definitely a difference. It was a difference in my life.
Yeah, totally different with me. And I do feel it on the days that I do succumb to that
dragging.
Yes, and say, oh, I'm gonna skip today.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pay for it, and the next day you're thinking, I'm not gonna cut short. So we're going to round up this conversation with some tips. Some tips for squeezing and exercising. As I started out the conversation, schedule your exercise first and foremost. Pick a routine or an exercise regimen that's going to be let me back up for a second. Before you start an exercise regimen, please check with your doctor. Make sure that you go in for your full physical. Let your doctor know. Of course, they're going to be happy to hear that, because exercise is good for everyone. But please consult your physician first. Secondly, make sure that you choose a regimen that's going to be good for your situation. For example, I used to be a runner, like Mike mentioned a few times before, but I can't run anymore. So I've had to shift my regimen to something else. So now I do an aggressive version of yoga, which is called Pyo, and it works great for me. And so I'm still able to get my heart rate up. I'm still able to work out my muscles the way that I'd like to work them out, and still feel like I'm anyway. So but it's still doctor approved because it's not too much for my hip. Where I'm going with it is I have a bad hip. So please check with your doctor, and choose a regimen that's good for you. And the third point that I want to make is make sure that you schedule your exercise at a time that's not going to be disrupted by something else. That's the reason why we do it first thing in the morning. Sometimes I will admit I can't squeeze it in first thing, but I do not go beyond lunchtime with my exercises. But traditionally I do it all the time first thing in the morning. And continue eating healthy foods. We do a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, and whole foods. We try not eat anything that's processed.
Yep.
And then portion control is the biggest thing for me. I love to eat. I'm a glutton, yes.
She eats twice as much as I do.
Not anymore, though. When we first got married, because we were very young. I mean, I was like a twig. I was eating you and the three boys. I was just like eating everybody else.
You still do.
I try not to, though. So portion control. That's the hardest thing for me. That's my weakness. Let's see what else. What other tip can I'm trying to think of what else.
I'm gonna throw out something that you have to do, and it's hard for a lot of people, especially. I don't care if you're in a startup business or you're working in the corporate world, but you need to get in the startup business. You can't get less than 7 hours of sleep. I mean, I've tried it; it doesn't work.
You mentioned that, yes.
So you should really try to do 8 hours and be disciplined with your 8 hours. I know it's hard to believe that you used to party before and you go to bed at 11, watch the news, do whatever. We're in a whole different regimen today, and I'll tell you right now, it feels great going to bed at 10 and waking up at 6 and starting exercising. So she's doing her Pyo, I'm walking and hiking in the hills, and it's just wonderful to get that away in the morning. So get your sleep, because exercise is important, but you need to make sure that you're also getting your rest, because if you do get good sleep, you feel different when you start exercising.
Yeah.
Versus if you don't get any sleep, let's say 4 or 5 hours of sleep, the last thing you're going to think about is getting up and saying, I can't wait to exercise. Then it's not going to happen. Right? So that's really, really important. And then, it was mentioned earlier about sugar. You got to cut sugar completely out of your diet. It's going to, if stress doesn't kill you at your company, the sugar will. And don't exercise every day. That would be one of my big tips. Don't exercise every day. You got to take a day or 2 days off. It's kind of like cheating with burgers. You can have it once a month, but don't eat them every day. So exercising, you got to take a break and give your body a rest. And we both do that.
Yeah. Oh, you also do some form of stretching.
Stretching.
Like a yoga thing.
Yeah, too. Since you brought that up, let me go into some simple daily exercise things. It's going to be really, really quick.
Okay.
15-minute stretch session. You have to stretch. So take it from somebody who's had a couple back surgeries. You got to stretch. So get 15 minutes every day. If you don't do nothing else, stretch 15 minutes a day. Would you agree?
I totally agree.
Okay, that's important. So you could, then these are options. You like riding a bike? Then ride a bike for 20 minutes a day. And if you don't ride around the neighborhood, ride it to work if you're close enough to work. Or you can run for 30 minutes. As Mayra was saying, she used to run. If you can't run, then if you don't run 30 minutes a day, then walk 45 minutes a day. So think about it from a standpoint of stretching, riding a bike. These are simple things to do, and you don't have to go to a gym to do it, which is, to me, is a pain. So 15 minutes of stretching, 20 minutes maybe riding a bike, 30 minutes of running, or 45 minutes of walking. And I'm going to tell you something, it's going to affect your thinking, it's going to affect your blood, it's going to affect your energy, it's going to improve your moods, and more importantly is it's going to stretch out your muscles. All of those things happen, and then you go to work. Don't throw out the excuses, I don't have time. That's a bunch of baloney. Not from somebody that we used to work 16, 17, 18 hours a day for years, not for a year, not for a week, for years, building one of our first companies. Stop with the excuses. You get up early and you do it. If you think that you're going to do it when you get home at the end of the day, you're just fooling yourself.
Well, there's some people that can actually put, there are people that can.
I don't know how. You're exhausted at the end of the day. I'm talking startup company.
That's true.
As a startup company, it'd be different.
Not working for somebody else.
In the corporate world, you get home at 5:30, honey, dinner, and then you're going to go to the gym, work out. Okay. I believe in that.
Yeah.
A startup company,
Yeah.
you're going to be working at 8 o'clock at night.
Because we've been there, done that. We've exercised in wee hours in the morning. We've exercised in the afternoon. We've exercised after work, and we've also exercised at nighttime. We've done all 4 different types
Morning is the only way to do it.
Yeah, the morning is the best, at least for us. It works for us.
Yeah.
It might be different for you, but we want you to experiment with your time.
Listen to success at breakfast. Morning is good, and then breakfast.
Breakfast is good too, but some people
make sure you eat breakfast.
Yeah, you have to eat a little something before you, depending on the regimen. So if it's really super, like when, I don't know, depends on the person and the regimen.
And something else, just real quick in regards to stretching. If you can't stretch, if you say I don't want to stretch first thing, like I got to have my coffee. This one here, she's got to have her coffee. So, but she does stretch before she does her coffee. But if you don't want to stretch first thing when you get up, stretch when you get to the office, right? There's no reason why you can't stretch, and you can do that in the middle of the day if you want to. You close your door, leave your door open, doesn't really matter. It's your company. You get up and you stretch, or go walk around the block a few times. How many times did we do that at lunch?
Yeah, we used to.
Or in the morning, or even after work when we just had a tough day, we just walked.
Yeah.
So you got to keep your heart pumping.
Yes.
That's the exercise piece.
Yes.
In a startup business, it's critical.
It is totally critical. So final thoughts. Final thoughts to close the session.
Okay. Well, I would say final thoughts. I'm going to start with the most important to me because it's important in our life, and that is eliminate sugar.
Yes.
No sodas. Stop it. And truly, not only just sodas, but you got to limit your alcohol, because in a startup business, you tend to.
We did that too.
And we did that.
We did that.
I mean, to the point where
we were doing a whole bottle each night.
Yeah.
Well,
a few times, not all the time, but
close
we
enough.
would get home and be so stressed out, whether it was a bottle of wine or she had a mojito and I had a margarita, but whatever it was, we were so stressed out. So you control, but you learn.
Yeah, because before you know it, you're roly-poly because you're drinking alcohol.
Right. We thought wine, drinking wine's supposed to be good for your blood pressure,
Yeah,
and
20 pounds.
but drink 2 glasses a night, and you're going to find out within a month that you're going to be 20 pounds
Yeah.
overweight. So, I think controlled drinks are sugar and alcohol. I recommend, because we had it and we loved it and we still do it today, get a stand-up desk. They're cheap. You can get them just sitting on top of a desk, or you can get the whole stand-up desk. Go to Costco, get them for $300. But a stand-up desk, half of your day you should be standing up, the other half of the day be sitting.
Yeah.
It's going to do wonders also for stretching
and the circulation of your
and
your
the circulation.
blood.
So I highly,
Oh, it helps with your oxygen.
Oh, absolutely. Highly recommend a stand-up desk. And I only got one last thing. Look at the fact of the matter is you are going to work. If you're not in a startup business, and we've said this for many years, if you're not going to work 16, 18 hours a day in a startup business, I wish you all the success, because you're going to have to put in that time mentally and physically. Mentally, the stress, physically, your body really can't handle it.
Yeah.
So I recommend a 15-minute power nap. How many times did you walk into me in my office and my head was down on the desk? I'm passed out for 15 minutes, just 15 minutes.
That's what coffee's for.
Right.
At least for me.
Some of you drink coffee and just say, okay, I got to have my coffee. I got to have it every hour. I've never had coffee in my lifetime, so I don't do the caffeine thing. So to me, that power nap is 15 minutes is just a tip. You fit it in. It's only 15 minutes. That's my take.
That's your take?
That's my take.
Well, my final thoughts is that I heard a quote, and I don't remember who the person is that said it. But the quote is, your health is your wealth. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, oh my gosh, you got to remember that, because
That's a good one.
yeah, isn't that great? I'm thinking I have got to share that. And if anybody out there knows who said that, please let me know so I can give them credit and props for that, but it's so true. Your health, so remember that above everything else, your health is your wealth. Without your health, you cannot bring your startup to its full vision to reality. So you want to make sure you do that. And also, the success of your startup is going to depend on your energy level. So if your energy level is really low, if you do have a staff working for you, or if you're working with your spouse, like this right now, it's just Mike and I, well, together, at home right now, because it's quarantine time. You know that you feed off each other. So when he has low energy, I can tell when he, and then when I have low energy, he can tell when I have low energy. You feed off each other. It does affect the operation of your business. And last but not least, just keep it up. Just don't give up exercising. That's my last and final thought.
I'm only going to add one thing to that.
Okay.
Like, you don't give up on your business, don't give up on exercising.
Yes.
You have to do it on a regular basis, because if you don't, you're definitely going to feel a difference mentally and physically.
Yes, very true. So that's it for today.
Okay.
High five. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.
That's this week's episode of Married to the Boss podcast.